Um, I'm policy director at Centre About Science, and we're starting a campaign to ensure that politicians are held to account for the use they make of evidence. I was really interested to come to this conference to think about how big data, complicated data sets can really enhance public accountability, or will it end up making the discussion on policy a lot more complex and difficult. So, I mean, it's been a really well-run conference. It's been a really interesting conference that's given a very broad view of the field, in my view. I think what's been really interesting is having people from government talk about being really honest and transparent about the flaws in the data that they use and generate. It's unusual, in my view, to see government officials being that candid and open, and I hope that's a thing that continues, because it's really important from the point of view of holding government to account that we know what government doesn't know, if you like. I guess one of the things would be a wider audience knowing that this sort of conversation is actually happening. All too often in the discussions we've just had in the session I've just spoken in, there is a tendency in the media just not to report uncertainty, especially when it comes to complicated data. The fact that this discussion is happening and that specialists are looking into how uncertainty can be reported better, that would be a really important outcome. Getting some coverage out in the everyday press about that sort of discussion would be really important, so that next year when it comes around, we can see that perhaps media reporting has improved. Hey, that's a big outcome, but that's where you've got to aim here. The function has got to be for people in this area who are collecting complicated data, who are analysing it, reporting on it, that they are open and transparent about what they know and what they don't yet know, and how they're dealing with the gaps in our knowledge. This is I think, potentially an exciting network of researchers and research users, and I hope that conversation. What's been interesting is looking at the use of social media, of Periscope, of Twitter, obviously, and attempts to try and get this out into a little bit of a broader audience than just the people who were able to attend today. I think if there was a broader thing, I would really hope that this would broaden out into civil society. We really get people who don't normally engage in data use and analysis being able to field questions from their point of view to speakers and so on.